Alright guys, welcome to another Apex Legends video, and today, me and Holland are going to be going over lore. Finally, for once, I'll be back doing lore with him instead of just him. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to go over some more of the mole stuff. But before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, notification bell, all that stuff. Holland, your turn.
Guys, today we are here with the brand new Chapter 8 leaks, which are so exciting. But before we get into them, two things. First, go check out Bias12 on Twitter. He is the main leaker that we get our information concerning story from. And on top of that, you already know how much we're growing. Our last video on the story lore is at over 250 views now. And unfortunately, it was a video that I did my accents in, and I feel forced to do them again. So get ready for my terrible accents in this video, which I'm deeply ashamed about.
But hey, you know, they sound good and people love them. So, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I wish not.
Yeah, but you know, you're stuck with it.
All
So
right.
let's go.
Let's get right into it. So, Chapter 8. Long as I can remember, I called everybody who crossed my path brother. To me, we're all part of the brotherhood of humankind. Brother is family, and if there's one thing you always do for your family, is protect them. Gibraltar will put his family back together. But first, hey brother, why don't you come back inside for a drink? I don't think so. The balance has been restored and its variables revealed. She's protected now from the hacker's distraction. That's what matters. I just feel bad, you know? I remember being their age, 21, 22, not a care in the world, doing whatever I want. You remember those days, Doc? I assure you, we had very different life experiences. I'm just saying, these kids, the legends, they face death all the time. They got more on their plate than we did at their age. I hate seeing them have to deal with even more piled on. You know what I mean, Doc? I don't concern myself with the childish affairs of adolescence. Then you might want to concern yourself with this. I look out for the little guy. Always have, always will. You might think I'm just carefree, jolly old Gibraltar. But when it comes to bullies, I stand up. Ain't nothing gonna move me. You hear me, brother? I stare him down. Don't even blink. Don't have to. He holds the stare. What an insipid display of machismo. Perhaps you should consider if what you protect is worth the energy. Can't say I take your meaning, brother. Consider Miss Paquette. She has a mind of pure natural genius. Anything that distracts from her work does a disservice to us all. It is within my power to protect her time and energy for the greater good. So I take the necessary steps. She didn't ask for your help, but she asked for yours. Protection is one thing, manipulation is another. What you're offering is the last thing she needs. Interesting coming from you, a sworn protector of the innocent, competing in a blood sport. This isn't about me, it's about you pulling strings that don't need pulling. I am nothing more than an observer, a man of science, and that is what I wish to preserve. Crypto's influence on her had to be stopped, so that she may continue on her path to greatness. A loss of her life would be a loss for science itself. You told Revenant what we were doing just to keep Crypto away from Watson? I told Revenant everything because Loba Andrade was digging into her past and unearthing skeletons best kept buried. When I saw the bond forming between Crypto and Miss Paquette, I took action to cement my innocence and ensure she stays the course. Multiple birds, one stone. You require confession? Here it is. I did it. I'm the mole. Are you satisfied now? How do you sleep at night? Soundly, I assure you. She stays focused on her work and technology continues to progress. I'm sure you can appreciate that. A temporarily broken heart is a small price to pay. You're hurting innocent folks. Those who contribute less, who are less. You can try to protect them, but in the end they will fall and you will be left with nothing. We're all worth something, even you, brother. I know we're stronger together. Do you? Perhaps you should look at the evidence laid before you, rather than ascribe blindly to your own banal fantasies. The doc gets himself a bit too close for even my comfort. They're all gone, Gibraltar, off on their own separate ways, alone with no one to protect them, and I hate being the bearer of tragedy, but they don't give a damn about each other. They never will. I won't step back. I won't back down. He doesn't win this. I ain't gonna stop looking for the sunshine. No matter what cloud gets in the way, Gibraltar will bring them back. They'll come. Faith? Fascinating. He chuckles as he leaves. The doc's got a way of getting in your head, I'll give him that much. But he's wrong. He has to be wrong. And I have to prove it. So I put the call up. Every member of the team, meet back at the bar. I know they'll come. We're better together. They know that. I hope. This bar is pretty empty. Quiet. Hard to ignore the minutes ticking by. I'm no stranger to dark times, but I know there's always some crack of light that makes its way through. All you gotta do is find it. And that's when the door opens. Good. Someone with a brain. I need you to look at this. Bloodhound just came back with another piece. The parietal share. Is it me, or are we just building another one of Revenant's heads? Maybe it belongs to that Shadow Revenant that rules the other canyon. Sounds like he was losing his head. All this for a damn duplicate. What a joke. I don't know. I think that head's got one more surprise up its sleeve. We'll find out after the others get here. Don't expect that. They're all scattered off to get the last piece on their own. Finish this nightmare for good. They're not coming? And what about you? No one's coming, G. And I got somewhere else to be. You got this? Yeah. I guess. Where else could she be going armed like that? Unless... You're going to her, aren't you? I don't speak in riddles, G. You're going to help Loba. Look, she's still trouble, and I want her gone. But no one goes down on my watch. It's my fault she's in this mess. Either I bring Loba back alive, or the Sim back dead. Either way, this ends tonight. And there it is, ever so small, the crack of light. Better together, it'll shine bright another day. Wow. That was a lot. A lot to digest and a lot to say. So, what do we think we should start with? Because obviously the mole is revealed. The character straight up comes out and says it. Caustic, not Crypto. Caustic is the mole.
So I think we should start with how he just flat out says it and his reasoning for it.
Alright, let's go back up to that. So, I have it pulled up. Here it is. You require confession. Here it is. I did it. I'm the mole. Are you satisfied now? So, what do you want to start talking about this? What do you want to talk about?
See, we've got him admitting flat out that he's the mole, and his reasoning why he does it is because of Loba having dirt on people. And he seems to be saying it as a group thing. He doesn't want her knowing everyone's past. But I think being caustic, it's more implied it's definitely just his past that he's trying to keep buried. Because of him
for sure.
being a murderer and all. Not exactly the thing he wants to get out.
Very true. I believe it's in one of the earlier chapters whenever Loba says something about knowing his past. Yes. He gets very defensive and says that man is dead or something because Caustic is his alter ego.
Yes.
But I think something really interesting is whenever he's talking about how it's protecting Watson, he says, Crypto's influence on her had to be stopped so that she may continue on her path to greatness. A loss of her life would be a loss for science itself. And I've seen this interpreted two different ways. The first way being that he genuinely cares about Watson and he wants to make sure that she's able to do what she's fully capable of. But then the other one I saw is that Caustic genuinely only cares about the advancement of science. So he doesn't actually care about Watson at all. It's just the value that she holds. And, we see that because he says she stays focused on her work and technology continues to progress. Those who contribute less, who are less, you can try to protect them, but in the end, they will fall and you'll be left with nothing. I'm part of the believer that maybe Caustic doesn't actually care about Watson at all, and he just cares about her mind.
I 100% subscribe to the idea that Caustic does not care about any other human. He only cares about the progression of science, as shown by his, huge increase in caring about learning Revenant's secrets just for his shadow form and everlasting life. He doesn't care about any other aspect, just the part of him that he can cause you to turn into a shadow and negate death. And that's all he cares about. And I think what he's implying here is that he's trying to play it off as he cares about her, but he really doesn't. And I think the whole thing is he wants to get her away from Crypto, because if they form a, partnership and something happens, they could distract each other from science, and then he has two people that are smart out of the equation of moving forward. and that would just kind of hinder a lot of progress in science that he wants to see happen.
I think I'm pretty sure Caustic looks down on Crypto a lot, and he does not put Crypto anywhere near Watson's level. And that was kind of shown by Crypto himself, saying he doesn't feel like he even compares to Watson. We know Crypto's a genius, but I mean, obviously Caustic is stupidly smart, as it must have been him who hacked into the drone.
Yes.
Which is insane because, like, I mean, I knew Caustic was smart, but that's just a level of genius that we probably thought only Watson and Crypto were on. But now it shows that Crypto might only be A tier of genius, while Watson and Caustic are like S tier to S plus tier.
See, I think it's more of a thing of not that Caustic thinks Crypto's not smart or anything. I think it's no matter what percentage smarter Caustic is, whether it's he knows one more thing or a million more things, he's going to look down on you because you can't outdo him like Watson can.
It could also be Crypto's, like, intelligence is very selfish. All the things he does are for himself. Meanwhile, like, Watson is actually trying to make advancements in the field of science with Caustic, and Crypto is not. He's wasting his intellect. So whenever he says Crypto's influence on her had to be stopped, he was worried that maybe Watson would come into that selfishness and start making things only for herself.
Yeah, I think he's trying to keep her away from the whole using her science just for, like, the other legends and her friends, not as much the world. Because if she were to use all her intelligence to push the legends into power and get rid of the, blood sport and all of this falls and the Apex games fall, then everything gets pushed back a generation or two of science advancement because all that she's worked on has been put into the Apex games. And if something were to happen and she helped the legends in the games, then all of her life's work up until this point is basically worthless. And he wouldn't want that to happen because that pushes back all the science advancements he's been trying to push for the whole time.
Moving on, I think we have something really important here at the end. And it is that it seems that Bangalore is going to help Loba, because we know that Loba left and she's worried that Revenant is already at her ship waiting for her, that he's going to kill her. And it seems that Bangalore is definitely going to go help Loba. She says either I bring Loba back alive or the Sim back dead. Either way, this is tonight, and we see Gibby happy. So we definitely know now that next chapter seems to be focused on Bangalore and Loba, which you guys know we already have the next chapter leaks. So whenever you want to see those next week, make sure you click that bell so you can be one of the first to see them.
I think Bangalore's approach here, I think it's kind of hinting at how she spent her whole life in the games trying to get back home, get back to her family, and she knows that Loba's doing all of this because of the loss of her family. So I think it's more of a thing of, they have a thing that they have in common that she feels bad basically and wants to make sure Loba's okay at this point.
She definitely feels bad, and it seems like a lot of the military influence is coming back, that she now views Loba as part of her squadron that she was leading.
Yeah.
And because she's like, no one goes down on my watch, it's Bangalore's fault that she's in this mess. So I definitely buy the background with the family and also the military background.
Yeah, she's got a lot of influence pushing her toward needing to help her. Her whole character is built around, doing what she's supposed to do, doing what's right. And I think it's really coming out here. She hasn't been a very good character developed so far. They haven't done a lot with her, but I think this is helping it a lot to try and cement what kind of character she is now.
I think the final thing to touch on is actually at the very beginning. And it is the long as I can remember, I called everyone who crossed my path Brutta. To me, we're all part of the brotherhood of humankind. Brutta is family, and if there's one thing you always do for family, it's protect them. Gibraltar put his family back together, but first. And then going down to where Caustic says that nobody cares, we have two very different ideologies here, where Gibby truly believes they're all a family, and Caustic views them all as completely selfish people. And it's a really interesting competition between these two ideologies, because we see Wraith in the previous chapter, not necessarily believing that they're all family, but to Watson, they're all family. And in my mind, it is kind of Watson who holds them all together as a family because they all know how much they mean to Watson. So it's like they're all playing family, playing friends, and it ends up becoming true. I truly believe that Caustic is in the wrong here, and I agree with Gibby that it does seem that they all want to help each other.
I think what it really shows is that Caustic is completely disconnected from reality if it does not relate to him and the advancement of science. Because it's been shown multiple times over. We have that Watson is everyone's family. She loves everyone. Everyone loves her. Literally, you've got Wraith that calls her Nat instead of Natalie or Watson. One of the only people she'll be like that with, which shows she definitely cares about her and, cares enough to learn her name and go by her name and all of that. And you've got that Lifeline and Octane, they've been friends their whole life. They're basically family. And Caustic hasn't picked up on any of this, that people actually care about each other and that they're in this together. That it's not just everyone wants to kill each other like Caustic thinks it is.
Well, with all that said, Brandon, go ahead and take us out.
Alright, so guys, this has been Chapter 8 of the story. We're coming to a close. Only 2 more parts left before it's all over. We hope you guys will be here with us for those. They'll be coming out 1 week before the launch of each of the stories in-game. We want you guys to be here to see them all with us, to enjoy the story. That's why we're bringing it to you early, so you guys can get a sneak peek at what's coming. I think Holland's been doing an amazing job doing this so far. His voices are perfect. He does great. As shown by the views, you guys totally enjoy all of this. You love his content. You love how he's doing this. This one's doing way better than the first one that had both of us doing it. So, you guys just subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when he puts his next one up. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about the revelation that just came out in this story. Tell us if you're enjoying the character development. Hit the like button to show that you enjoyed this video. Tell us if we're doing anything wrong. With that, Holland, any last words before we head out?
Subscribe.
Alright. With that, we'll see you guys in the next video and have a good one.